Good afternoon. My name is Scott Tower. I'm president of the Underhill Historical Society. I want to thank a few people before we get too far into this. Judy Boardman and Jean Archibald were instrumental in getting this all set up. I'm amazed the number of people who have appeared. I don't know anybody. I didn't come to town until '81. It makes me a young folk here. But Jean and Judy just, hit the books, and they had other help, Susan Thomas, Carolyn Layton. They did different aspects from the food, but the contact of the people was Judy and Jean's responsibility. We're hoping that you have a chance to go through all the posters, help us identify people. Also, you can tell everybody knows each other, or what they thought the person was going to look like. So, this lower level of the schoolhouse is going to stay this way now. It's supposed to be for the public to use and for the town to be able to use it also themselves. Upstairs is under renovation. I don't know how much the people who went to school here used upstairs, but that was the area that was mostly destroyed, needed the most work. Eventually, so the upstairs is being renovated slowly. It's been painted, it's been sheetrocked, but access to the upstairs will be over the next few years because most people cannot climb the fire escape. And eventually we'll either put in a set of stairs to go up, but hopefully we'll be able to put in an elevator or a chair lift, something that will allow people to go upstairs. That's mostly going to be the clubhouse for the Historical Society, where we'll have our archives, the paperwork, so people can come and research their family. Even at this point, we have it archived, but it's downstairs in our back closet. So if you have any questions on your family, we can give you a hand on accessing it. It's not the easiest thing. All the stuff that's in that closet was out here in this hallway or in this room. So, if you don't have a name tag yet, see Connie out here. He's signing people up so we know who came. We're not adding you to our list of people to contact every time we have a meeting unless you want to be. We meet monthly. Our group has doubled in size over the last few years of the people who come to our meetings. And we have, 7 or 8 events left this year. We'll be at Harvest Market. We have Jerry Fox from Essex doing the railroad, Burlington-Lamoille Railroad. We're doing the Athenian Revolution, Rebellion, and John Monahan in November. So we have a lot of events going on during the fall.
This was my first grade teacher 70 years ago this month. Okay? We were from the ID school. We're the other kids, right? Hey, all right. So I just want to thank her very much for coming. This is Betty McDowell. She now lives in Cambridge. Very good. I was very disappointed because after she taught for 1 year, she left. We got married. Her husband was with the press or something, and they traveled all over the world in Air Force One. Whoa! President. right, with it, not in it. Oh boy. I'm not gonna do it. Anyway, so I want to thank her very much for coming, and she's a lovely person. Thank you, Betty.
I went to the ID school for the first 2 grades, the one in Underhill, and from there we went to a farm on Poker Hill. Poker Hill had a school, a one-room school, near the end of the road. And I was only there for a year, and we moved to Underhill Center, rented a home, and I came here in the fourth grade. And I was so smart, they gave me a test and put me in the 5th grade, but not because I was smart, because I had missed so much school during the 4th grade. Miss Flynn was my teacher. I admired her. She was a lovely teacher. She, if she didn't know something, she went and found it before she would teach it to you. And I enjoyed being here for a very, very long time. This school had 3 of us in the 8th grade, in A grade, from 5th on through the 8th. And it was Paulo O'Connell, Tinker Lanphier, and myself. And we stayed together through those years, from the 5th grade through the 8th grade. And there once was a test given to us by the superintendent. And the 3 of us scored within a couple of points of one another. He thought that we were cheating. So he gave us another test and separated us so that we couldn't copy from one another. And we didn't come quite as close as we did the first time, but we were all within 10 points of one another. So we proved that the teacher was doing her job, and we weren't all brilliant nor stupid. I remember one time when one of the boys in the class behind me, I've already identified him, gave Miss Flynn a bunch of nasty words. And she took him out on the fire escape, which is out here to my right, and told him that if he didn't straighten out and apologize, she was going to push him over. Of course, I don't think she would have, because he was bigger than she was. But we were all chuckling about that, those of us who were still on the inside of the school.
I went to school here in 1946 through 51 when it burned, and was relocated to the Green Mountain Academy for a couple of years till the new school got built. And then I finished off, it'd be the first graduating class out of the Central School in 1954.
I went to school here. I started school in 1946. I went through all the grades except for 1 year, and I think that was in the 6th grade. My teachers were Rose Littner, grades 1 through 4, Emily Flynn, grades 5 through 8. The thing I remember about this school is the boys had to bring in the water and the wood for the fires. And it was just a good all-around school. I'm glad I came here.
We moved to Vermont in '49, May of '49, so in September we started school here. It was small compared to the one we were living in Canada. It was nice. We had a nice teacher, Miss Perot. She was from Newport, and I think they hired her because she could speak French to us. I remember Mrs. Pryor making macaroni and cheese. Yummy.
Yeah, when I started here, one of my best friends actually is Christian Walker, who you've met, and he and I have been good friends ever since. He lives in St. Albans, I live in Milton. And our teacher was Rose Littner. No, I'm sorry. Mrs. King. And she had a 1934 Chevrolet car. That was the transportation to and from school.
Then when I moved from Canada, I went from 4th grade to 1st grade here And then the next year, I went to the 5th grade. And the teacher was Miss Perrault. You remember that? No? And anyway, they had to get a French teacher because I couldn't speak English. I liked the school because it was a good school and the teachers were pretty strict. And when you needed a slap on the finger or something, I didn't go back home and tell my dad because
You'd probably say you needed it.
it was worse. Memories. I met good friends. Like today, I'm meeting good friends, but they're all older like me. And I'm glad that they kept the school. And they fixed it all up. I can see that. I know we had quite a few fights here. It was the, it was for the fun of it, really. And some of them weren't so funny.
They probably call that bullying.
Yeah.
I was here in 1947 and 48. And the children were so good and so patient and wanted to learn. They were wonderful, and I missed them. I had tears in my eyes when I left because I didn't know what kind of a job I'd get in Washington. I had 1st and 2nd grade, and I think I had 22 in the classroom. And they wanted to learn. That's what made the difference. We had a sandbox. It was there when I became a teacher. And I had all the sand taken out of it and had good soil put in and had children bring seeds, and we planted lettuce and I don't remember, radishes and things like that, and they grew in the wintertime. So we had something green. Well, one of the attendants, I don't remember who he was, had to get there and get the fire started to get the place warmed up. So I had a plant sitting on the windowsill which froze one time when it was so very cold. But other than that, it was very comfortable.
It was quite an experience for me going from a 40 classroom student body to a 2-room school with 2 other kids in my class. And I guess I can safely say that it was probably the best education I ever got. I don't know whether it's educational philosophy or really what it is, but when you're in the 2nd grade and the teacher's dealing with the 1st grade, you pick up on all the stuff you missed. And when the teacher is dealing with the 3rd grade, you see what's coming next. And it's just a system in a small environment that really works. It took me, I don't know, way ahead of where I would have been had I stayed in a larger classroom. Well, it wasn't a long commute. I was lucky enough to ride on a subcontracted bus. It was a pickup truck with what looked like a refrigerator crate in the back. And the first 2 kids in the morning got to ride in the front, in the cab with the driver. And after that, you got to ride in the refrigerator crate in the back. Now in the summer, there was a chain across this and the back was open. But in the wintertime, they closed the whole thing. So the whole crate, truck, transport portion was in the dark. And it was a little frightening some days to get in there because you never knew exactly what might happen. No, I think the driver was happy to get rid of us at the school. I think the preservation thing is a good idea. It's not a restoration. If you want to make an automobile analogy, it would be like this is the hot rod version of an original. It's not divided the same. It's not finished or furnished or used the same way. There's no woodshed. There's no privy. There probably will be running water at some point in time, which we never had. So it's different. But I'm glad they're doing it.